The new CFO displayed my salary on screen and called me overpaid in front of 21 executives. He said $320,000 is above market value. I quietly resigned that afternoon. 3 weeks later, the CEO called me personally. I spent 11 years building the financial infrastructure at a company that went from 40 employees to 1,200. I designed the systems that processed $89 million in quarterly revenue. I trained every single person in the accounting department. I stayed late during audits. I came in on weekends during tax season. I never complained. When our old CFO retired last January, I expected to be considered for the role. Instead, the board hired an outsider named Victor. He came from a competitor, had an MBA from some school he mentioned constantly, and walked around the office like he owned the building. His first week, he shook my hand and said, "I've heard good things. Looking forward to seeing what you actually do around here." Actually do. Like my 11 years were a mystery. I let it go. New leadership always needs time to adjust. I figured he'd see my value once he understood how everything worked. The quarterly executive meeting was scheduled for a Thursday. All department heads, the CEO, board members, 22 people total in the big conference room. Victor was presenting his efficiency findings from his first 90 days. I wasn't worried. My department ran clean. Our numbers were always accurate. Our processes were tight. Then Victor clicked to slide 14. My face appeared on the screen. Next to it, my salary, $320,000. In bold red letters underneath, it said, above market value. The room went quiet. Victor smiled at the screen like he'd discovered something brilliant. This is what I'm talking about. We have long tenured employees who've grown comfortable. $320,000 for a senior controller position is frankly excessive. Market rate is closer to $240,000. That's $80,000 in potential savings right here. He pointed at my face on the screen. 21 people turned to look at me. The CEO frowned but said nothing. A board member nodded slowly. Victor continued, "I'm not saying this person isn't valuable. I'm saying we need to have honest conversations about compensation alignment. Loyalty shouldn't mean overpayment. Overpayment. 11 years of building everything he was standing on, and I was overpaid. I didn't react. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself in front of 21 people who were now wondering if I was worth my salary. I just wrote one word in my notebook. Done." The meeting ended an hour later. People avoided eye contact with me in the hallway. Victor walked past and said, "No hard feelings. It's just business." I went back to my office and typed my resignation letter. 2 sentences. Effective immediately. Personal reasons. I emailed it to HR, CC'd Victor and the CEO, packed my personal items into a box, and walked out at 3:47 p.m. Nobody stopped me. My phone rang 6 times that evening. HR, the CEO's assistant, Victor himself. I didn't answer any of them. The next morning, I got a text from my colleague Dana. "What happened? Victor's in your office going through files. He looks panicked." I didn't respond. See, what Victor didn't know was that I wasn't just a senior controller. I was the only person who understood our entire financial system. The custom software we used, I helped design it. The integration between our accounting platform and our CRM, I built a bridge. The quarterly close process that took other companies 2 weeks, I got it down to 4 days. And none of it was documented. Not because I was hiding anything, because I was always too busy doing the work to write manuals for people who never asked. Week 1 without me, they couldn't close the books. The software threw errors nobody understood. Vendors didn't get paid because the approval workflow was stuck. Dana texted me updates like a play-by-play. Victor screamed at the accounting team for an hour. Nobody knows how to fix the reconciliation module. Week 2, an audit notice arrived. Standard stuff, but they needed historical documentation that only existed in folders I'd organized. Victor called me 4 times. I declined each one. Week 3, the CEO called personally. "We need to talk." I let him talk. He said Victor had made a mistake. He said the board was concerned about operational continuity. He said they wanted me back with a raise, with a better title, with an apology. I asked one question. "Did Victor suggest this, or did you?" Silence. Then I did. "Victor is no longer with the company as of this morning." I let that sit for a moment. "What happened?" "He couldn't close the quarter. We missed a filing deadline. The board lost confidence." "So you fired him after 3 weeks because he couldn't do what I did for 11 years? Yes. I thought about it. I thought about Victor's smug face on that Thursday. I thought about my salary in red letters. I thought about 21 executives staring at me like I was a line item to be cut. I appreciate the call, but I've already accepted another position." The silence stretched longer this time. "Can I ask where?" "A company that doesn't display employee salaries in executive meetings and call them overpaid." I hung up. "My new job pays $365,000. The CEO there called me directly after hearing I was available. Turns out my reputation in the industry was solid, even if my old company forgot. Last week, Dana told me they're still struggling to close last quarter's books. They hired 2 consultants at $400 an hour each. They've spent more trying to replace me than my salary cost them. Victor's on LinkedIn now, listing himself as open to opportunities. His posts talk about leadership and building high-performing teams. I don't comment. I don't need to. Some lessons cost more than $80,000 in imaginary savings.